Is Fred Okengo Matiangi a state project? This is one of the biggest trends since yesterday after advocate Njeru made these allegations in a live interview that has caused a lot of speculation. This is what Njeru said in that interview.
Matiangi ni project. Ya thirikari.
What do you mean?
Is a state project. Tondu ginya hype.
Okay.
Urikana reko atwikire ati reko ari na Gen Z wa mambiro maki hype makiuga Gen Z ni leaderless, partyless, leaderless, partyless na tribeless. Magisoka makiambiria ku hype Gen Z ni mara.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know that there is nothing that in politics that happens out of mere coincidence, and the timing of this statement just comes a day or 2 days to the return of Rigathi Gachagua. And we're speaking, Matiangi has been doing rallies in the Meru region, that's part of Mount Kenya region. And we want to look into the details of this statement and why the timing was necessary at this moment. And remember that it happens when Matiangi has conducted a very successful rally in the Meru. The turnout was very good. And if you observe very closely, the allies of Rigathi were missing. The closest allies of Rigathi were missing in that Fred Okengo Matiangi rally in the Mount Kenya region. And it is really sending a message to what is happening in the opposition. But before we look into that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching for the first time, always subscribe, like this video, and remember that today I have a jersey for the national team behind me in solidarity with our national team that will be playing on Friday, that has qualified the quarters. We pray for the team and we expect the best out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've always said here that if Matiangi is going to run on a Jubilee ticket, that is in the presidency, if he's going to declare that Jubilee is his party, the things that you are seeing are going to even happen even more worse. And the reason behind this is that if Matiangi ends up, for example, picking a running mate from the Mount Kenya region, that's if the opposition doesn't remain united. And remember that also in regard to that statement, Njeru came out and apologized of the statement he made and wrote a statement, but the damage had already been caused. And if Matiangi is going to run on a Jubilee ticket, then there is going to be these wrangles between DCP and Jubilee in the Mount Kenya region. And at the end of the day, if Fred Okengo Matiangi disagrees or with the opposition splits and Fred Okengo Matiangi runs independently, runs aside, and Kalonzo Musyoka runs aside, because I've always said that the presidency is between, opposition presidency is between those two guys, Matiangi and Kalonzo. Of course, Rigathi Gachagua will support either of those two guys. But with what we are seeing, it's like the allies of Rigathi are leaning towards Kalonzo Musyoka. And they are not happy to see that Matiangi is making inroads to the Mount Kenya region. And I was thinking and asking myself, imagine of a ticket where Fred Okengo Matiangi is the president, and then you have the Peter Munya who welcomed him to the Meru community as his running mate. Then things will be very worse in the Mount Kenya region, because if you are on the ground of the Mount Kenya region, people, you'll agree with me that the people on the ground don't have an issue with Fred Okengo Matiangi. And even if it's Matiangi given the presidency of the opposition as the flag bearer, they will be willing to come out and support him in full capacity. Now, if at the end of the day there will be a disagreement in the opposition between Matiangi, Kalonzo, Rigathi Gachagua, because these are the three people who are very determinant in the outcome of the strength of the opposition, and Matiangi goes independent, Kalonzo goes independent, then the Mount Kenya region is going to make a big determination. And that's why the allies of Rigathi Gachagua are not comfortable with Fred Okengo Matiangi's inroads to the Mount Kenya region. If at the end of the day, Matiangi declares Jubilee as his party towards the 2027 presidency, and parties, grassroots parties like the PNU we saw, and we have a lot of parties that Matiangi have said. Matiangi said about 7 parties, of which most of these parties are coming from the Mount Kenya region. If they come out and support Matiangi, then the DCP party will be greatly affected in the Mount Kenya region, because it's now the top or the strongest party from that region, and it will want to take charge of that region. So this is the reason number one why that statement came out. The war wrangles of parties in the Mount Kenya region. Secondly, is a look into what can happen or can come out of the opposition presidency. As I've said, if Matiangi is not given that ticket and there is a disagreement, remember that now if Matiangi is going to declare Jubilee, people like former President Uhuru Kenyatta will be having a great say, and they might insist that they are going for presidency, because if they do an analysis and find out that Matiangi is liked all over the country and has that will of the people and is not given that presidency by the opposition leaders, they might decide that they will push him to the end, even if without the opposition supporting him. And I've been asking myself, like I've said, if Matiangi picks a running mate from the Mount Kenya region, remember that if the opposition goes for Kalonzo, Kalonzo cannot pick a running mate from the Mount Kenya region. Then Fred Matiangi will get or will end up getting the favor, a good favor from the Mount Kenya region, with the fact that he has a running mate from the Mount Kenya region. And the reason why Kalonzo cannot pick a running mate from the Mount Kenya region, there is no possibility of Eastern and the Mount Kenya people having a same ticket, because Ukampani is equally part of the Mount Kenya region and the Gema community. So Kalonzo must go for a running mate from a different region. But for Matiangi, it's convenient because Matiangi comes from Nyanza. So if he picks a running mate from the Mount Kenya region, then it's a ticket that can also work very well. So these are the biggest questions that are being asked. And these wrangles you're seeing are or might be a result of what is about to happen in the opposition. And that's why at the end of the day, Rigathi Gachagua, Uhuru Kenyatta, Matiangi, and Kalonzo Musyoka must agree on a working formula for the opposition to remain united ahead of the 2027 presidency. At this lesson, you can tell me what you think about this statement that was made about Matiangi being a mall, being a state project. What do you think? Are these serious allegations, or these are just mere political statements that are aimed at ensuring that Fred Matiangi doesn't make inroads to the Mount Kenya region? Otherwise, have a nice day. Remember to subscribe, like this video, and if politics you like this, the channel where you should be. Let's meet next time. Thank you for being with me today. We meet next time. Have a nice day.